Hey guys, I hope that you're having an incredible day. Welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing time lapses for Inktober sketches number 26 to 31. And while you see these time lapses in process, I'm going to be sharing what I have learned throughout this month as I've gone through this challenge. So this was my first time ever participating in the Inktober drawing challenge. I had always wanted to for a very long time, but I finally pushed myself to do it even though I'm doing a bunch of things right now. I was able to make it through and I am super happy about it. This month, I've been sharing time lapses for every single one of my Inktober sketches, and in my past videos, I also talked about my process and my mindset as I was going through this challenge. I also shared how I came up with my ideas for my sketches. I talked about my struggles. And also in the last video previous to this one, I shared a review about my Inktober supplies. So if any of those things sound interesting to you, make sure to check these previous videos out. I will make sure to leave links to them down below in the description box and also at the end of this video. Very quick, before I begin, I just want to extend a huge welcome to all of you new people just visiting my channel for the very first time. My name is Erica. I'm a traditional media illustrator, art blogger, and teaching artist, and through this YouTube channel, I share art tips, drawing and painting tutorials, and general encouragement for beginner and intermediate artists. I share a brand new video every single Friday, so do consider subscribing. I would absolutely love to have you as part of this growing art community. Make sure to click on the little notification bell so that YouTube can let you know whenever I publish a new video, and let's get into it. So there are various reasons why I decided to finally participate in Inktober this year. I think that daily drawing challenges like Inktober are great opportunities not only to improve our cold, technical, artistic abilities as well as our creativity, but they also test many personal and mental aspects of ourselves as artists. I knew since the beginning that taking on Inktober would be very, very difficult for me, but I also knew that if I managed to push through this challenge, there would be amazing growth. So I'm going to start out with just a couple of things that I definitely learned or improved upon in terms of the more cold technical skills, the drawing with pen and ink that I saw throughout this month. I had already mentioned in a previous Inktober video that even though I did have experience drawing with this medium, with pen and ink, and I even have pen and ink drawing tutorials here on YouTube, which I highly recommend you check out if you haven't already, I had never used this drawing medium as frequently and as consistently as I've had this month. So after having had created so many different ink drawings throughout this month, I have definitely learned that it is incredibly important to take it slow and stay focused throughout the drawing process. Even when creating a quick sketch, it's very important to stay mindful throughout the process, to stay conscious of what you're doing. And I find this even more important whenever you're drawing with ink because this medium is permanent. It cannot be erased. And you have to keep in mind that you are creating marks just as much as you're developing values throughout a piece. I found that on days that I was very tired, I was unable to focus, and this led me to go overboard with the amount of marks that I created. This then led to areas being too dark and flat, and also led to creating a texture that I wasn't intending to create. And just in general, my drawings looked a lot more sloppy when I found my mind was not in the drawing process as it should have been. All this said, I did notice by the end of the month, I trusted myself a lot more with this drawing medium. I felt a lot more confident, and I was able to complete my sketches a lot faster than I did in the beginning. By the end of the month, I was also able to come up with my ideas behind my sketches a lot faster than I did in the beginning, which leads me to confirm the fact that creativity is indeed a muscle that needs to be exercised, and that if you push yourself to stay creative consistently, you're only going to get more and more creative and more successful with your ideas. I am now moving on to the more sort of mental aspects that having participated in this challenge helped me learn about or progress. And I think number one would definitely be the importance of persistence and determination in order to achieve a goal. I don't think that any substantial amount of growth can be achieved easily or fast. I think that there always has to be some sort of pressure involved and obstacles that the person has to push through. But something that I really believe in and that I have shared in past blog posts of mine over at my website is that it's incredibly important to do some introspection and reach conclusions about what you truly want in order to set objectives and stick to them. For me, it was important that if I already decided that Inktober was important for me and I decided that I was going to participate in it this year for the reasons that I already mentioned and more, I really wanted to honor that decision and stick through all of the setbacks, all of the time problems and stuff that I had. I stuck through it and I saw it through. And I really feel that no matter who you are or what kind of objective you set for yourself in what particular area of your life, if it is important for you, you should definitely do your best to see it through. Something else that participating in Inktober taught me is not to chase perfection. Perfection cripples us and keeps us from creating. And there is nothing like participating in a daily challenge like this, in which you have to be constantly pushing out new work to help us understand that finishing something is better and will get us further faster than not doing anything at all because we're standing there frozen and fearing not being able to create something perfect. I feel that perfection is definitely overrated at times and that we have to learn to take it easy on ourselves or we just won't make it through. One more thing that I learned throughout this Inktober process is the importance of staying flexible. And this kind of has to do with the previous point about not being a perfectionist. I feel that not being too obsessive about things kind of shifting in another direction or changing in a certain way is perfectly fine. And that you just have to learn to keep moving, to adapt to whatever comes. So for me, staying flexible throughout this challenge kind of came in two different ways. For one, I had to stay flexible in terms of time because several times throughout the month that I thought I would have time to do my drawing, things came up or I had less time than I initially expected. So even though at many points throughout the month, I maybe even wanted to just get into the studio and work on my Inktober sketches, there were other things that came up that I had to prioritize and do before. So many times I ended up doing my drawings late at night when I was very tired after having worked all day. Or there were also a couple of times that I even had to do 2 sketches in the same day because I fell behind. But I feel that the important thing is to remain positive and to keep going whenever you have a chance to get back into it. And the second way that I personally stayed flexible in Inktober is in terms of my supplies, because the sketchbook that I was initially intending to use for all of my Inktober sketches, its pages ran out. And initially, I was super annoyed because that one LEUCHTTURM sketchbook has pure white pages that really help the black ink contrast very nicely. And its pages were also super thick, which made it very perfect to use with ink. And I give a lot of information about all of my supplies in my previous video, so do check it out if you want to know more about the specific supplies that I used. But my point is that I was kind of annoyed because I had to shift my direction. I did not have any other sketchbook laying around with those same characteristics. I had to use what I had, and I just had to be okay with it and move on. And the last point that I would like to include in this little list of mental aspects that participating in the Inktober challenge helped me improve was to focus on the good. And this can apply in two different ways, I feel, when it comes to something like this. Because it can apply throughout the process, and it can also apply at the end when you're viewing or analyzing your finished product. So if you have seen any of my past Inktober videos, you probably already know that I decided to go with the official prompts this year. So even though many of the official Inktober prompts weren't particularly inspiring for me, and I even had problems coming up with some ideas for some of them that would lead to creative drawings and stuff, I decided to focus on the cold technical aspects in that case. I decided to focus on improving my cross-hatching, hatching, general inking techniques, and stuff like that. And I feel that the same thing goes for when you finish a piece. I feel that many times we get very hooked on our mistakes or things like that, but we should also acknowledge the things that we were able to do well. So whenever I finished a new Inktober sketch, even the ones that I didn't end up liking very much, which I can tell you there were a few throughout the month, I always acknowledge the things that went well. And this, I feel, is incredibly important because a lot of us tend to get boggled down by everything that we still have to do and learn and improve, and we fail to acknowledge how far we have come. Alright everyone, so that is it for today. I'm going to leave you now to enjoy the rest of these time lapses. And before I leave you, I just want to take a quick moment to congratulate all of you fellow artists and illustrators out there that participated in Inktober this year. Congratulations, you guys. It doesn't matter if you got a third of the way through it, if you got halfway through it, whatever it is you could do, congratulations, awesome job, and I hope to see you around next year for the next one. Thank you so much for watching this video and visiting my channel today. I really appreciate it. I would absolutely love to connect with you over on different social media channels. My links will be down below in the description box. Don't forget to subscribe so I can see you next Friday, and stay inspired. Bye!